Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and we have had another productive day here vaulting. I went to the range and I filmed a product review, or finished a product review that I told you I was going to do. And in last night's video, you guys corrected me, and because this is due to the fact that I have been so busy and I've been kind of off the grid and not following all of the gun news, I did not realize that the embargo on the Olight site was already done. So people are releasing videos on it, and this is the site that I did receive. And I told you that I wanted to have my review come out about a week after everybody else, and that's still the plan. It's going to come out Saturday. I filmed the unboxing and the features portion a couple days ago, and then I took it to the range today. I'll show you. I put it on the Walther PDP, and this is the full size. And I'm going to tell you, I know that some people have not had positive reviews of this. Now, do I think this is a red dot that is designed to go to war? No. I don't think that the Navy SEALs are going to be buying Olight sights, okay? But that's not the market that Olight's going for. I think they're going for a mid-tier red dot. You know, something that would be below Trijicon, below EOTech, below Aimpoint, and something that would probably be a competitor with, let's just say, Holosun, okay? Definitely a step above the cheap Amazon red dots you get for $100, you know, but not in the premium military grade red dot. That's what they're going for. And I'm going to tell you, I think that the two types of reviews that I'm seeing on this, okay, are the people that are, and once again, I don't like using this word, and I'm not calling people this, okay, but the more shill reviewers, the people that, I'm not saying that they're doing it because they're getting a ton of money or anything, but it's because they want to grow their channel and they want to do positive reviews. Of course, they're going to review this very positively. And then there's, of course, all of the Olight haters out there that no matter what Olight makes, because it's Olight, they're just going to hate, okay? And I tried my best to make a video that is neither of those, okay? And I go over the features, I show what it does, I take it to the range, I show the results, I shoot it, and I'm going to say out of all the red dots, and this is truthful, okay? This is truthful. I have no skin in the game. I don't use any of those partnership program affiliate links or any of that. So I'm not going to put that in the video. So if you want to buy one of these, you don't buy it through an affiliate link, so I don't get any kickback. I got no financial compensation for this review at all. The only thing I got was the site because they have to send it out early. I can't buy it myself. And I did my very best to show all the features, and I will say I shot this better than just about any other red dot, okay? It's the most accurate for me. I've seen the complaints that people have saying that the glass isn't glass, it's Lexan, which I don't know if it is. Maybe it is. I don't know. It looks good to me, okay? I have no problems with it whatsoever. It seems to be fine. I think some people are just going to be, you know, nitpicky about it because it's Olight. And I don't think it's fair to compare this with the Trijicon RMR. It's just not fair. But on the other hand, I do have some issues with it. And I'll talk about that in the review. Now, the site worked great. Every feature that they put on this site works. It works well, and it's also intuitive. I had no problem with it whatsoever. I give it a very high mark, not a perfect score, and I will save the things that I don't like about it for that review, okay? There's only two. One, I think I mentioned maybe yesterday? I may not have. But the other one deals with the size of the dot, okay? And that's it. But it works. Would I take it to war? Probably not. Would I jump out of an airplane with it? Probably not. But for your average gun person who is the audience of my channel, I think it's a pretty darn good site. okay? And because it's their first foray into red dots, I have no doubt that you're going to see future generations of this, and they're going to get better. They're going to, change things up. Maybe they'll change what the lens material is, if it really is Lexon. I can't tell. They might change the profile of it. They might change whatever based off of the reviews. So it's just the Gen 1. When Aimpoint first came out, it might not have been the greatest red dot sight of all time, okay? It's come a long way since then. And of course, this is a flashlight company. So I tried my very best to do an unbiased review. I say some positive things, I say some negative things, I take it to the range, I show you the results, and to be very honest with you, it works, okay? So the review on this will be Saturday. It's already filmed, edited. My Patreons can already see it. But yeah, that's it. And this little charger is kind of cool too. So you can tell. Let's see here. The charger itself right now has 75% power, but when you charge the sight itself, this one has like almost 100% power. So yeah, it's a cool and neat idea. Okay, it's different. And I think the people that hate Olight when they review it are going to hate it because they hate Olight. And the people that love Olight and are kind of shills are going to love it. That's just the way it is. So hopefully my review will be a little bit of a breath of fresh air, okay? Yeah, I say positive things, I say negative things. So that's what's going on with that. All right, now, I did take 2 other things to the range today. And I want to show you and talk to you about those. Now, the next one is something fun, okay? The AMT Automag IV in 45 Winchester Magnum. Now, I didn't even know this caliber existed. It is like a 45 ACP plus P plus P plus, okay? It is one powerful cartridge. In fact, when I shot this the first time, I was kind of scared. I didn't know what to expect. And this gun is big and beefy. It's really heavy. And as you can see, we have a very long barrel. So I was assuming, this thing is going to be powerful. And I was kind of scared. Maybe it's going to come back and the slide's going to come off the frame and hit my face. I have no idea. So I was honestly a little bit nervous. And I got to say, it's actually pretty manageable. It is, though, a very powerful handgun, okay? I mean, it might be the most recoil in any handgun. Well, okay, it's not as much as a Smith & Wesson 500 Magnum, okay? That is definitely more. This one, though, is up there. It's in the top 3 when it comes to the most recoil. And because of that, I don't shoot it very well, but the gun shoots very low. Now, I only had like 50 rounds to shoot through this. And I wanted to save a few rounds for Jack, who lent this to the channel, and he acquired the ammo as well for it. So I wanted to make sure he had some ammo that I returned. So I didn't use all 50 rounds. Plus, I don't think my hand could have taken all 50 rounds. I have rheumatoid arthritis, and let me tell you, my hand is hurting a little bit after shooting this. I had fun though, so it was worth it. Now, I did try to adjust the sights a little bit, because we do have some adjustable sights, and I adjusted it where it should raise the front of the gun as high as, and it's still shooting really low. But that also could be because I was anticipating the shot. Let me tell you, this is a powerful handgun. Now, I don't know the history of this particular example. I know that Jack is not the original owner, but it doesn't really look like this gun has been shot all that much. I only had 1 magazine for it. It looks like it's in pretty darn good shape. I mean, the whole gun just looks great, okay? I mean, it looks close to brand new. I did have some issues, but they weren't like catastrophic or unexpected. And let me tell you what the issue, a couple of issues were. And maybe this is because the gun is older. It may be because the gun needs to be broken in because it really is new. So the first issue I had is these only hold 6 rounds, okay? So these single stack magazines hold 6 rounds of 45 Winchester Magnum. And so I would start the first portion. I pulled the slide back. I had the slide open like this. because when those rounds are in here, this spring is really, really tight. So I didn't think I could insert it on a closed slide. So I started like this. Magazine was full, put it in, and then I pulled the slide back, and just like if it was an empty mag like it is now, the slide would not go home, okay? There was definitely a round in there, and I was like, okay, so obviously the slide stop is not pushing the follower down, or really the follower is all the way down the magazine, so it's not coming down. There's something that is obstructing it. So I tried again, I insert the mag, I pull the slide back, and this time I forcibly put the slide stop down and close the slide. Now, this could also be because, now I have not taken this gun apart because these AMT firearms are really difficult to take apart. The tolerances are really tight on them, and they have a barrel bushing like a 1911. They come apart like a 1911 with a little bit of variation. But when it came to the 1 in 30 carbine, I could not take off the barrel bushing. It would not come off. So this one seems to be a little bit looser, so hopefully I'll be able to take it apart and clean it. So there might be some things in here that are kind of gummy, you know, old oil, old grease, and that might be what's causing it. But the slide stop would not disengage, but if I pushed it down, it would, and it chambered around. And I would fire it, and I would say on the first magazine, we have 2 or 3 issues. And the issues are one of 2 things. The slide would come back, and the slide would lock open. So the slide stop, in fact, you can actually see a little bit of this right here. And this is indicative of what the problem is. You can see the slide stop is not all the way up. In fact, it's barely engaged, but it is locking the slide open. And so the firearm would cycle, and that little slide stop would catch it just enough, maybe because of the recoil or whatever, it would lock the slide open. And then a couple of times when it tries to load the cartridge goes into the chamber very tightly. Like, I mean, it will chamber. It will chamber. But maybe the spec of modern .45 Winchester Magnum is off compared to what this gun was designed for, or maybe there's just variations a little bit in the size of the case. I don't know. I know it's a pretty rare cartridge. It did chamber, and the first magazine I have lots of malfunctions. However, as I shoot the gun more, the better it ran. So I think I shot a total of about 42 rounds through this, okay? And honestly, that's about enough for me, okay? It's a powerful handgun. It's a powerful handgun. But as the range report went on, the gun ran better because I think it just needs to be broken in. So I believe on the last magazine, or one of them, it ran perfectly. It ran absolutely perfect. Some of the magazines, I would have a round that wouldn't fully chamber, so that it was like kind of half in battery, and I had to kind of push it forward. Some of them, the slide would lock open. But as it ran, it got better. And I think once I take this apart, hopefully, for cleaning and do a field strip on it, maybe I can find out if there's like grease and other things in here that was causing those problems. But overall, an interesting experience. It's not really going to be a range report where you guys are going to be very impressed with my accuracy because the gun is just so freaking powerful. It's just so freaking powerful. And I do not shoot it well, but it's fun. Okay, so I know people are going to say, go get training, you suck. No, they just want to say, this is an old handgun that is designed for a very weird cartridge, and it's super powerful. But I did get to shoot it and experience it, and I tried to adjust the sights, but hey, it is what it is. All right, so that was the AMT Automag IV. Technically, it's the IAI Automag IV because it's the company that bought AMT, or Arcadia Machine and Tool. And I will tell you, one of the guns on my bucket list is the AMT Hardballer, their 1911. All right, so that was that one. And then the other thing I did was finishing up a product review. And I talked to you guys about this one last time. And I'm going to tell you, it is a goofy looking optic, okay? Now, this is a 4-in-1 optic, okay? Well, they say 4-in-1. I don't really know what the fourth thing is. It's a scope, okay? It's 4 to 16 power. It is a laser sight and a red dot. And the price of this is under 80 bucks. Yes, I know. You're already saying, holy gosh, that has got to be a piece of junk. And I'm telling you, I have reviewed optics that were pieces of junk. And I have told you in the review, and those optic companies have begged me to take those videos down. And I will not. I will always post my true feelings and thoughts. But let me show you this, okay? And in my opinion, it looks like a Chinese company wants it to be cool, and they looked at airsoft optics, but it's really not an airsoft optic, okay? I'm going to say it's okay. It's okay. And I'm going to explain why I say that, okay? So here it is. So this is from a company called Pinty, Pinty. And obviously we have the scope, and look at this bezel on the front of this thing. It's like it's a melee weapon or something. That's just obviously to look cool. It has an illuminated reticle, and it's both red and green, and it actually works. We have a red dot sight here on the top, and this is a super duper cheap red dot, and the adjustments for the elevation and windage are really weird. We have the click adjustments here on the side, which actually have pretty darn good detents on them, and they are, pretty solid. And then we have a laser sight over here. And I want to say the cost of this is like $68 or something like that. Maybe 80 bucks. I don't know. Something in that price range. And I reviewed... Oh, it also comes with a riser, which is a mount. Now, you don't get a lot of mounting options. It's not like you buy your own scope rings for this thing. The mount is built in, so you don't get a lot of options on this, okay? You just don't. So I started off at the rifle range, and I reviewed the scope portion of this. And I'm going to say it's actually okay. Like, it works. Out to 100 yards, I was getting a group with this AR-15 about this big, okay? It does have a lot of distortion at the edges of your field of view, but if you don't care about that, and you're just aiming for a target, just using it at the range, be fine. And the reason I say this is okay is I believe, and this is one of my philosophies here at the Texas Gun Vault, the Second Amendment is for everyone, and everyone is on a different step in their journey, okay? There was a time for me when I couldn't afford anything. I mean, I remember how excited I was when I saved up for a couple of months to buy my first Glock 17. That was exciting. And that was a lot of money to me. And I remember when I got my first red dot for a Ruger 1022 that I owned. And that red dot was made by a company called Sightmark. Now, I think Sightmark actually makes decent optics. Their U.S. division's actually based here in DFW. But back then, it was a pretty darn cheap red dot. I want to say I paid $35 for that. And it's all I could afford. It's all that I could afford. Okay? I knew what aim points were. I knew what EOTechs were. But I could only afford a $35 red dot. And it worked for a while. It did fail on me, and the glass did fall out, okay? So you do get what you pay for. But I know what it's like to be in that situation. And I know that I am blessed beyond my wildest dreams. The guns that I get to review, the guns that I own, the optics that I own, the optics I get to shoot with. I mean, I know that most people will never have the experiences that I have. Okay? I am very aware of that. And I know how blessed and fortunate I am. And I am that way because of all the people that support my channel, have supported me here at the Texas Gun Vault. But also, I've worked hard in my life. You know, I've done a lot of stuff. I've worked long hours, long days. You know, we've all been there, right? and I'm at a different stage in my life than when I first got into firearms. So when I review this, I really do want them to be okay, and I want them to work because I'm hoping that somebody that's just starting out on their Second Amendment journey, somebody that is on our team, on our side, this is all they can afford. And I want to make sure they get the best information and a good review of a product that they can afford. And I want to make sure that they know, if you're spending $80 on this, no, you are not getting a Trijicon, okay? You're not getting an ACOG. You're not getting a VCOG. You're not getting any of that. But this is what to expect. And it's a good starter, setup. Or maybe it's a terrible starter setup. Look elsewhere. But I want to give people that information. And so a lot of people will look at this and go, it's stupid. It's a piece of junk. And you know what? It might be. But that's why I'm always honest about it. So what I did discover about this, the scope portion of this actually works. It's a functional scope. And the reticle in it's pretty good, and it is illuminated. I mean, I really can't complain about it, okay? It works. It works, okay? The adjustments are fine. They're not overly sensitive, but they're not, they're just the right. I forgot what it says here. Let me see. It says, 1 click is 1/4 MOA. That's what it says. And I would say that's probably about true on it, where you could really dial it in. And I'm sure if you put this on a more accurate gun than this AR-15, it'd be fine, okay? It would work, okay? It's functional. The red dot, goofy, it's cheap. It actually works. Now, I will say the biggest downside to this is that it does come with a riser. You don't have to use it. But in order for you to use the scope, you really have to use the riser. It puts it right, for me, right at eye level. It's perfect. But if you want to use the red dot, it's so high, you need to take the riser off. But if this is just a backup, you really have to take your head off the stock, and you're looking through it this way, and you don't get a proper cheek weld with the gun. So if I did review it with the riser, if it was lower, it's going to be fine, but then the scope you really can't use. The green laser is the weakest part of this setup. Now, this laser is really powerful, okay? I mean, I don't know much about lasers and what they're supposed to be when it comes to power, but I can tell you at the range, it was very powerful, and then I could see a very strong green laser beam from this all the way out to the target. I mean, it's probably the brightest green laser I have ever seen and used. And it's probably dangerous. I mean, you definitely don't want to shine it at somebody. The adjustments for it, they don't have like little clicks in them. And it's too sensitive. So if you turn it just a little bit, that laser moves a lot. So it really took me a lot to get it lined up and zeroed. Actually, wait, I can probably show you how bright this laser is. Let me see here. I mean, it's probably there on the back. You can see, it's not really showing you here on, it's too bright in here. But let me tell you, that laser is super bright. Even looking at it here from my eyes on the ceiling there, that is a bright, bright laser. And it did hold zero. It was hard for me to, really zero it perfectly, but it does give you a good group. The red dot worked, and the scope worked. And the mount stayed solid for the most part after about 200 rounds and the whole review. Yes, I spent that many rounds reviewing this thing between the long distance range and the shorter stuff with the red dot. The only thing that I had an issue with was the mount, and then the back here. This would come loose a little bit, but not too bad. The front one stayed pretty tight. So that is what I reviewed, and it's going to get a pretty good ranking from me. But I'm going to review it for what it is. I mean, I might give it 4 stars, but 4 stars for what it is. You put that up against, you know, a Night Force scope. I mean, the Night Force blows it out of the water. Okay, it's not even in the same league. Okay, but if you're just starting your Second Amendment journey and it's all that you can afford, it actually works. It actually works. And I want to make sure people get that information. And I have friends to this day that are my age that are just starting their journey. And they'll message me from time to time and tell me how excited they are when Palmetto State has a deal with, you know, lower receivers that are $29.99, you know, strip lower receivers. Or they went out and they have a Palmetto State, and they buy, every time there's a deal, they go and buy a Palmetto State AR. Well, good. They work. They will spend less on an AR-15 complete from Palmetto State than I will pay for a set of iron sights. You know, like some of those like Knight's Armament backup iron sights, you buy the complete set. You know, the 600 meter ones for the back and the flip up one for the front. You're looking at what, $450, and they're buying complete rifles for $399. But that's all they can afford, and they're super happy about it. So I want to encourage that. But anyway, that's what I got tonight. The O-Sight, the Automag IV 45 Winchester Magnum, and the Pinty 4-in-1 optic. And that's what I got going on. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. And if you watch to the end, what could the word of the day be? What can the word of the day be? The word of the day is going to be journey. Journey. That's a hard word of the day because I don't know how you use that in a comment. Because we all have to start our Second Amendment journey somewhere. So there you go. So let me know your thoughts on any of this in the comment section below. And thanks for joining me here in the garage to talk guns. So, as always, thanks for watching.